The law thinks of everything. Even hundreds of years ago, the law in England thought of how to deal with someone whom you can't arrest. Well, how would you deal with someone if you can't get a hold of them? They've committed a crime, but they're just outside the law. So they created the law of outlawry. And in fact, what it really means is not that the person has gone somewhere out there beyond the law, although probably he has, but many of us break the law. He is going to be declared outside the law, outside the protection of the law. We will no longer treat him in the way that we would treat someone whom we could arrest. And such a person, ever since 1215 Magna Carta, has had many protections. But this man, I'll just say man, won't. In fact, we will call him an animal. And the Latin expression that you are supposed to use when you are putting this person under the law of outlawry is caput gerat lupinem. Let his head be the head of a wolf. I don't know why they picked on the wolf, but it's an animal. He won't receive our proper treatment anymore. And you are not allowed to be nice to him and feed him. If you feed him or harbor him in your home, you are becoming a criminal. So I want to ask, is there someone in Australia today whom we can't arrest and on whom we should declare the law of outlawry to be operant? I think there may be many such people, but technically I think there is one person, I'm not counting the Queen, there is a rule, the King can do no wrong, the monarch is protected in that way. But technically, I believe that the DPP, there's one in every state and the Commonwealth, Director of Public Prosecutions, is beyond the law. You may say, Mary, that's crazy. Any cop could go up to him and arrest him. Maybe he could be arrested, but would he be prosecuted? He could drop the charges against himself. And the reason is this. In about more than 10 years ago, we changed over to having an independent DPP. And this was like a joke. It was like a sleight of hand, and nobody seems to have caught it. They said, there are too many prosecutions that are political. You know, like someone is ordering that their personal enemy be arrested, or very often someone is ordering that their dear friend or their fellow in crime be protected. And we don't want that, so we want an independent prosecutor. You may recall there was a problem in the United States that led to the formation of a special prosecutor. So people think, oh, this is great. Then he won't be tainted or he won't be narrow-minded and he's independent. This is a terrible joke. He should not be independent. He shouldn't be independent of Parliament. He should be under the jurisdiction of the Attorney General, and he's not. And in Tasmania, on the famous day of April 28th, 1996, the DPP was Damian Bugg. And 20 years later, we can see that he did not that he acted extremely independently. He did not arrest the many people of that day who should have been arrested for what was committed in the massacre, and I do not mean Martin Bryant. And then in the aftermath of that, he failed to pick up on or arrest the many persons who committed, I don't know what the word for subsequent crime, but crimes that followed from that event, like the aftermath. That would include the crime of cover-up. Ever so many persons involved in that. The crime of perjury, those who gave false statements under oath. Of course, there wasn't a trial for Martin Bryant, so there wasn't statements given in a trial, but still, it's a crime to pervert the course of justice. And then there's the crimes committed against the boy, against Martin Bryant. He was led into a situation where he would be burnt to death. Apparently that was the plan. They were to throw in a grenade or something, set the Seascape cottage on fire, and he would die. He came staggering out alive, is still alive 20 years later. But what of the crimes done to him? What of the violent crimes committed upon him? And also, what of the 35 people who were shot dead? Not by Martin Bryant, but by someone. So to make a long story short, I feel that this terrible joke of every state now has a DPP, and it's a joke as far as I know in every state, because that person is able to represent the netherworld or the racketeers or foreigners or whomever. He's not subject to Parliament. And I would like to make this statement, and I'm now judging this personally according to what I see to have been the crimes committed that I just described in regard to the Martin Bryant case. And I put that responsibility on the DPP of Tasmania, Damian Bugg, who later became the Commonwealth DPP. And I, Mary Maxwell, would say to him today, I think, reasonably, well, dare I say it? I'll say it. Caput gerat lupinum. A new book seems to be arising. It is called Port Arthur, Enough is Enough. And it's about the 20 years that have gone by, and especially the legal events and non-events, such as I was describing. And the book is written by myself, Mary Maxwell, and Dee McLachlan. And how much does it cost? Why, nothing. It's free at the website gumshoenews.com. The book.